Dynamic entry. We're coming back at you, baby. We are here, back again, bringing you our review series of Spy Family. That's right, Core 2 has started, and we got the first episode, so we're going to review it for you here today. Let's get into it. Alright, so we got the first episode. It started off right where it left off, kind of. It didn't really, like...
Just a normal day in the fam, making breakfast, hanging out, having a good time. You know, Anya's a little bit excited, though. She's like, let's hurry this shit up. Let's go. Let's get her going.
Oh, yeah, because we left off, and they were going to adopt a dog for Anya, because she's getting a reward.
So we're earning her Stella.
So it just picks up right then and there. They're like, hey, all right, today's the day. Let's go get you a reward, a dog, we promise you. So they head towards the designated animal shelter that's been assigned to them by Loid's company.
Yeah, because they're all specially trained guard dogs. But, of course, he's trying to hide that fact.
Yeah, so they pull up, and Anya goes to look at the puppies, and she's like, oh, damn, these dogs are kind of ugly with it.
Straight up.
They're buff.
Disappointed. Look at her face. Oh,
the
yeah.
one that's, like, sitting like
you
this.
see them? They're all flexing in the back, too? I barely noticed that shit.
It was like a Yakuza scene, because, like, the dog was in the middle just sitting, and then the rest were just, like, around him, and I'm like, what is happening here? And, yeah, so Anya's, like, not happy with the selection we have here. And, so she's like, well, it's not fun. So Loid kind of notices that right away, because he asks, like, hey, do you like these?
He's like, aren't they cute?
She just turns around. That means no.
Gloom. And then he was like, I think I know a breeder who specializes in smaller dogs. I'm like, okay, so yeah, just call one of those fucking spy friends, you weirdos.
And he's like, today's an adoption day at a big shelter. You guys can head over there.
And then out of nowhere, you got fucking Old Man Jenkins come out of nowhere with the big O. I was like, what is that? What's going on? I mean, I kind of get it at this point. It's fucking spies. It's Loid.
Little signatures, little signs. Oh, I gotta go.
The fact that he faked a stomachache, though, I'm like, come on, man. You couldn't go with anything else on the spot.
That's the best.
It's classic, though. It is. Very classic.
I think that'd be my go-to, too. It'd just be like, I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And then I wouldn't have told my family to go along, though. That was smart of him to just be like, oh, go on without me.
Yeah, don't wait for me. I'll just be back. And then you're taking me all the way to headquarters. They're gonna fucking know something.
I like how Anya kind of caught on too. She's like, oh yeah, let's go, Mom. We can.
Dad takes a long time to shit when he's shitting.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
What the hell?
She's like, yeah, Dad takes a long time to shit when he's shitting.
I thought it was a mistake. I'm like, oh, maybe it's a translation.
Dude, I did too. I was like, did they?
And then Lloyd's like, watch your mouth.
He's like, watch your mouth, but damn, it was a good save.
So then they get to the spy headquarters, and we find out that they need his assistance because they brought in some guy who's connected to a possible terrorist attack. And they're interrogating one guy, and the guy's like being uncooperative. He's like, I'm not gonna tell you guys shit.
You got nothing on me, pigs.
So they're like, all right, well, let's go. I'll just put you in handcuffs. We got your leader anyway. And he freaks out. He's like, what do you mean? And they're walking down the hall, and they see across from him is Keith, the leader.
Keith.
Yeah, and he's like, that guy did it.
It's all his fault. Yeah, Blame him.
Keith blames it on the guy who was originally there. I think his name was Chris, he said.
I think so. I think it all started with K. It was weird. It was like Kim, Kurt, Chris, Keith.
So Chris, who was getting blamed for it, was like, what the hell? He's like, I thought that was the leader. You know what? I'll tell you guys everything.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Fine. You want to throw me under the bus? Fuck y'all. I'm going to throw y'all under the bus.
Cuts to the interrogation room again, and then they're behind the two-way mirror. It's Loid, and he's like, oh.
Twilight being Twilight. He's like, what's up?
Pulling off his
disguise. Master disguise. Coming in hot. That was sick.
What do you say? He's like, oh, if it was like a smart guy, he would have caught on because like I didn't really like.
Yeah, he's like, I don't really know much about like you kind of just you're like, hey, I'm here, fucking be Keith.
Be Keith, yeah.
They have no idea who he is. All they know is that they're trying to assassinate the minister that just showed up and start the war.
Yeah. So Chris ends up folding. He explains everything. He's like, all right, we're gonna do this attack, and then she's like, well, what weapons are you guys using? He's like, well, we have these dogs, and we're gonna put bombs on these dogs. And these dogs are gonna run across the entire like gathering and just blow up everywhere. So they freak out, like, well, shit, dogs. And it cuts, boom, at the dog adoption center. Good cut there.
Yeah. Then that was like, all right, all that dark and gloom to like, boom, here's some cuteness. Anya freaking out at all the fucking cute animals that are there.
Just hella dogs
everywhere.
Dogs,
cats, bunnies.
Oh yeah, she was like freaking out about the bunnies. I forgot. Looking at the dog, she's getting kind of overwhelmed. Even Yor is getting a little. That's their
ship. Yeah, that's the ship name.
Loid and Yor. She's getting a little overwhelmed too. She's like, oh, there's this dog, and she's like, oh, it's a dachshund. And then she kind of gets distracted, and Anya walks towards the window and sees Bond, the dog that we were introduced to the last season finale. He's a Saint Bernard. I still want to say.
You think it's a Saint Bernard?
What do you think it is? It has to be.
Actually, that's pretty good because I'm just like I'm looking at him. I'm like,
what dog?
Maybe like a Mastiff.
Oh, maybe.
I'm like, I don't know. He just looks. The Borf gets me every time. Every Borf.
Yeah, I'm like, why is he
Borf,
and not barking?
Swedish chef.
It's so weird.
What are you doing here?
So then, Anya sees him through the window as he's walking by, and then
they make eye contact, right?
And then he sees a vision that played in Bond's head last episode, where he sees like them welcoming him into the
Forger family.
And he's like, that's interesting. And she's like, she sees this, and she's like, oh, that's my family.
She's like, that's my family. She's like, wait,
what the hell?
Is that your thoughts?
And she follows them across the street, and we find out that the handlers. Oh, I guess before that we'd seen Bond save a kid, because like the two spy handlers. One goes inside the shop and then we get coffee. And the other one's him. And then Bond just takes off. You're like, what the hell? And he ends up saving a child. And that
kid runs into the street and he fucking yanks him back.
Hinting at like his possible powers that he has.
Yeah, he's like, he could see the future or something. Because she even says it later. She's like, can you see the future?
Yeah, so he has that little like, I guess, I don't even know how like far ahead he can see, but maybe like a few, like couple seconds.
Like it's just like Raven where it just comes out of nowhere. Like,
yeah.
Did you just have a vision?
Sees it and it happens. So yeah. Bond saves the child. Anyway, so we get a hint to that. So that's how we get the next scene where we get. So she follows them across the street, and they are, like I said earlier, the spies who are infiltrating the terrorists.
Those are the terrorist guys.
So she follows them into the warehouse, and then she sees Bond, and she's like, "Oh, there he is." She runs up to him and like tries to hug him, and then she hears people talking in the distance. She goes to the door, as much children do. They listen to conversations.
Curious children.
And we see the real Kurt talking to his fellow terrorists. Keith? Kurt and Keith, they're all the same.
They're all the same. They are. They really are. I told you, they're all K's.
Keith, you're right.
It's Keith, though.
Keith telling everybody, all right, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. Boom, boom, boom. And then Anya's
like, wow, this guy's got his shit together. We got the villain already. Like, Desmond doesn't matter anymore.
Yep.
We got the real deal villain. And then, Anya's like, oh, shit. It's about to go down. I need to get out of here.
I got to tell my family. And then behind her is a giant man.
She
come here.
Runs into a wall. You idiots! She's been listening this whole time.
She heard everything. And then at that point, Anya's captured by these terrorists. And they're like, well, she's seen our face.
She knows our plans, so
we have to get rid of her. And Bond, being the double amazing dog that he is, morphs his way into the fold.
Rips out that leash. She
stands in front of her, anime style, protecting her, looking like fucking, what's his name? Kiba's dog, Akamaru.
Oh, yeah.
Fang over Fang, Anya over Bond. And yeah, the scene is now set. We see the terrorists. They are now exposed to Anya. Anya's exposed to them. The dog's in front of her. And we're like, what damn, what's going to happen? And then it cuts back to Loid. And they're explaining, hey, we have a possible lead. Let's go look at all these places.
Check out all of the spots. What's his face? Told them about all the meetup spots. All duds.
Yeah, they all split up and go to different locations. Turns out, yeah, they are all duds. And then, how do they get word of like the new? Oh, I think it just kind of like, hey,
he guy shows up. He's like, hey, they've infiltrated a few of our spots. We need to get out of here. So then they're like, well, we gotta leave this fucking place too. And they're like, well, fuck, we gotta kill the kid too.
No, I'm saying, how did Loid? They just got a lead, right? They didn't say how they found out, but they're like, oh, we have a lead, and then it cuts to the. Yeah, okay. So yeah, they get a lead. Loid gets a lead, and I guess they found out where they're at somehow. So it cuts to the terrorist group, and Anya looks at Bond, and he gets another vision
where they all turn away, look away from her, and he takes that as their chance to escape.
Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, the phone's gonna ring, and then the phone rings, and she's like, oh, so another hint at that he can show the future. She's kind of like figuring it out. She's like, oh, these are his thoughts. He can see things. So the phone rings, and then Anya and Bond take off. And they're freaking out. They're like, well, we're exposed. They know where we're at. And then now this dog and this girl are out of here. And she's going to expose us further. So then begins the big pursuit chase scene.
It was a little comical, too, where she's, like, running. And she's just like, bad guys are chasing me. And as usual, people are like, oh, that's adorable.
Look at that little girl riding that dog. That's amazing. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. The animation that really kicks up when they start, like, doing the action scenes. It wasn't just them talking. So they finally started doing, like, some bigger things. She's running. And then she... kind of realizes that he's not going to stop, and she's like, okay, well then,
so this is fast, and then
let's go to the police then. And she kind of holds on further, and she visualizes becoming Starlight Anya.
She's like, I need to be Starlight Anya again. She's like, this is exciting. You know, it's all about her excitement, all about her dramas. She wants shit to be crazy.
Yeah, so she's gung-ho, but meanwhile, Yor hears the screams of Anya, because the whole time she's freaking out, she couldn't find Anya. She's like, she's gonna get kidnapped and forced to marry someone.
When she jumped up on the ceiling, fucking Spider-Man style, she's like, I was like, oh shit,
So she's like, okay, so Yor hears this, and she's like, okay, now I know where she's at. So we take it. She just takes off right away.
Bless Yor's heart, by the way. She's like, God, Loid, hurry up in the bathroom. And I'm like,
oh,
please.
And then my favorite part is that the whole magical girl transformation happens to Starlight Anya, and she's like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And then it shows like a scene of Bond just running, and then he goes in a circle and comes back.
Oh yeah, he just
runs in a circle,
and then he runs out of breath,
and then he gets
like,
captured.
well, thanks for coming to us, I guess.
Yeah,
she's like, we're back where we started.
She's about to get captured, and who shows up?
I was waiting for it. You know who showed up. Here comes Mama.
Always last minute. She has like a fucking Naruto like behind her, like Rasengan like animation, and it's just a foot.
And then she kicks the shit out of that man. He bounced off the wall at least 4 times.
And she shows up, holds Anya. She will not marry any of you guys. You guys
She's too young to get married. End.
Cuts. I'm like, damn.
I was like,
wasn't expecting it to end there.
I wasn't either.
But yeah, overall, I think it was a pretty entertaining episode. A good first episode back. I like how they didn't wait to get back into the action.
I'm glad they didn't spend like half the episode recapping, because that's what a lot of people do. They're like, welcome back. All right, here's what happened in the first fucking season. And we're like, we know what happened.
Just get into it.
Yes. So I'm glad they didn't like spend the entire episode recapping. We actually got like the main plot. We got a bad guy. We get to see Bond finally. So we got some shit.
Yeah, we got a bigger. I like how they that was my biggest complaint last season. Towards the end, they weren't like really delving into Loid's spy-ness. So now that we kind of get into like his like that side, they're in the headquarters, they're showing everything, and he's actually doing his job finally, not just being a dad. They're like, okay, you gotta keep being in disguise. This is the big plot. They're gonna have a terrorist attack. We need to stop them. All this stuff. So I was like, oh, cool. We're finally getting more of like the actual spy shit, not just the family thing. Because it's spy family, not just family. So yeah, I enjoyed the first episode. Thought it was good. What do you think of the opening and ending song, the new ones?
They're actually really great. Like that's one of the things too that they've been doing really well on. I like the opening and ending of the first season. Same thing with this season. Opening and ending, fantastic.
Yeah, it was good. I missed a little jazzy opening though. This one
I do too. And it was like
I
think I still love the ending song for the first season. Like that one's just great. It's like really chill.
Yeah, the chill rap one.
Yeah, so I thought it was really nice. But I do miss the jazz, because it's like very Cowboy Bebop from the first one. So that was like brought that back, a little nostalgia factor. Yeah, but I think out of all of them, the ending from the first season is still my favorite.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't watch the preview. Did you watch the preview?
I did. So next one's called I think Bomb Defusal.
Oh.
Something like that, because there is just like a little 10-second thing. Next mission is called like Bomb Defusal. You see Anya in a room with a thing on the wall full of wires. So I'm wondering if she's going to be the one that has to deactivate the bomb. How is she going to do that? Can she read people's minds? Is there going to be someone nearby? So all you see is Anya, and she's in a room by herself in like a winter coat, and there's a bomb. So I think she's going to be defusing this bomb somehow.
Okay, cool. All right, enough of that. So yeah, overall, good opening for the season, or the second part of the season. Keeping along the lines.
High hopes still.
High hopes still delivering on both ends. The action, the family, the sweetness of it. The animation's holding up. The characters are all holding up. They're all really strong still.
They didn't really change anybody. Everyone still seems the same, like serious, but also they have their goofy sides, which is really nice.
Yeah, so more of the same, still maintaining the goodness of the show. If you have not watched it yet, this is Core 2, so the second half of the first season. If you somehow jumped onto this episode and you're confused, you probably should go back and watch it. We do recommend it here. We're going to be trying to be here every week as much as we can, giving you guys reviews of the season to finish it out. I'm assuming it's going to be 12 more episodes, because I think it's slated for 24 episodes. So at least for 12 more of these, or 11 more, I guess, we'll be here reviewing them. So overall, for the premiere, out of 10, I'm going to give it like an 8.
I was going to say, I'd give it about a 9.
Oh, 9, yeah. So pretty even. High scores all around.
Every time.
I think it's going to improve more, but yeah, for a continuation of a series, I did enjoy this episode.
My only hope is that they stick with the theme. Let's not get like, let's not kind of sputter out in the middle like they did in the first season, because I know there were a few episodes where we were kind of like, meh, not much really going on. But I think just the way they opened this one, there's going to be a whole lot more action in this one. So we hope. That's all we can do, is hope and wait.
Exactly. So yeah, highlights for me, Bond Dog, awesome. Your highlight?
Bond Dog, every Borf, I was laughing. That shit was just cracked me up. And then of course, every time Yor's on scene, beating the shit out of somebody, just because she doesn't understand the situation, it's even better.
Her instant reaction is just hands.
That's her. It's like maternal instincts, her assassin instincts, and then she's just totally overboard. by the way. 'Cause, like, the first guy, she kicks up into the fucking ceiling.
Yeah.
That last dude, she kicked it. He bounced off the walls at least 6 times.
Anya's gotta stop getting captured.
Yeah, that too. Because people are dying because of her.
She needs to figure this out.
I want to know what happened to these people. I think they're die, but obviously they're not going to show that.
Last episode's gonna just be her getting served a civil lawsuit.
You've killed so many people.
They're all pressing charges.
They're all pressing charges because you had no cause.
You run in and you kick people.
You just don't even ask questions.
Yeah,
you run in, you just kick the shit out of them.
He had a family and now he can't see them anymore.
She usually wears heels too. She got like the shoes,
the
like
big
the
old
heel
stiletto.
bottom on it.
Yeah. They always picture like, I don't know what movie it was, but like she like steps on some guy's head with a stiletto and it like squishes like a grape. Anyway, yeah. So Spy Family episode 13, technically, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna do that. I thought it was gonna do season 2 somehow, but then I was just like, oh, it's just 13. So
episode 13, good show. We recommend. So if you haven't watched it already, go check it out. As always, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe down below. Follow us down below. Like I said, we'll be here every week giving you a review. So stick around, keep coming back, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.